Wait a second, guys. The LCS isn't dead? Aw, jeez. I guess I was wrong. Well, honestly, looking at it, I'm glad that Mark didn't just completely kill the LCS, that there's not, issues going all around here. I really liked what he did with the 2024 LCS address that he brought. North America is sick when it comes to League of Legends, and I intend to fix that. I think there's something just really interesting about the fact that, we're going to be using the live patch that we're going to be doing, which is great because then people can just take it and they can actually just go, oh, well, I just saw whoever, my favorite mid laners. How about JoJo or something like that? I just saw JoJo play Oriana with the new Storm Surge item or something like that. Great, fantastic. Well, guess what? You can go right after that game. You can go right onto League of Legends. You can jump right in and you can play that same exact thing, and it could go the same exact way that you just saw JoJo playing there. Honestly, like the fact that that is a thing, I think is really cool. I like the way that that they're really looking at that. I think it's a really cool kind of way around things. That way, you're not having the weird, oh, it's 2 weeks and you're on a patch, and then you go onto a new patch, and then you can't, like, the problem is that the players are playing on this one patch, but they have to actually, like, they're playing that for scrims and everything. But then they go and they want to go home and they just want to play else, they just want to play solo queue or something. And they play solo queue. Well, they're 2 weeks off, in one direction or the other. And it's just like, well, what can I do here? There's nothing I really can do, right? I like the fact that they're on live. There is going to be, they did say that they're going to turn one part of Tournament Realm into a PvE so that you can actually have, you can actually play ahead of time, which is great. But it'll be interesting to see that the LCS can actually stand forward and actually be in charge of the meta. Um, innovate things, try things out, because everybody's going to be a little bit further behind us. People will be watching us to see, hey, the new patch just came out. What's going on at the LCS? What are they doing there? I think that's a cool idea. I just hope, honestly, I don't think that the balance team will really have an issue with that. I think they'll still balance the game the normal way. I hope they're not like, oh well, we have a whole actual league that's just basically making their whole thing that they're working on a live patch. We got to make sure these live patches are different or too big or maybe too small. Like I don't know, but I'm glad to see that this is actually happening, and I'm hoping that they don't actually kind of kilter one direction or the other. Another thing I did remember seeing here was the idea that what you're going to do is you're going to have the kind of more community support here, as well as more integration with the Twitch channels and that kind of stuff here. I honestly think that's a great idea, especially just for a casual fan or professional fan, I guess I say, a diehard. Um, because one of the things that you're going to be able to get when you are doing something like this, like the interactions here, is you're going to be able to actually have, um, according to Mark, and things might change as it goes along and everything, and they kind of see what they can and can't do. But the idea that you can actually go from, uh, in the beginning of a match here, and you are just saying, you know what, I think I want to see top lane's matchup more than I want to see the mid lane or bot lane matchup because it's Impact versus Sniper or something like that. The first game of the year here. I think that'll be a great match to watch. Of the top lane, let's focus more on them in the early game, and you're going to be able to type into chat or something like that, or vote on a poll or something like that, or a prediction type thing, whatever. That this is the actual part I want to look at. This is the part of the map I want to see. I think that's pretty interesting, as well as even I remember him saying something along the lines of you might be able to actually interview or pick out who gets interviewed for things. I would really like to see maybe the Twitch chat has a little bit of a voice when it comes to player of the game, that kind of stuff there. I think that would be cool. It kind of contributes to Player of the Week, that kind of stuff. I think that would be really interesting to see if Mark wants to kind of go in that direction there, almost like how the LEC does it, where there's choices to the people, but also there's the talent on desk and everything. Another thing that Mark said that he was going to be doing here is he was actually going to be making the LCS broadcast kind of a little tighter. Um, and what he means by that is that you're going to not have so much time in between drafts, or the end of one game into the next draft. What they're going to do there is they're actually going to, as that one game is finishing up, they're going to be having the other teams behind them already pre-recording their draft so that they have it ready to go as soon as the commercial's done and the little segment of content type stuff. um, it'll be like, okay, that ad is done, and boom, we're into champ select. We don't have to wait another 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it is, of analyst desk time, whatever. You're just boom, you're right into the game. You keep it rolling. You're doing good. You're engaged. That's where you lose people is when you go from end of game to a little interview segment, and then a little bit of content, and then an ad, and then you go into another bit of like pre-content, and then you're now into the final, the draft. There, it's just like all those different movements. You're gonna lose someone in there. It's just it has to be the way it goes. And honestly, one of the things that I think is really good that I saw that Mark was saying was there is going to be more community focus. They're going to actually be talking more with us, giving us like AMAs, that kind of stuff, to really kind of break down, hey, this is why we're doing this, or this is why we made this decision, or let's talk about why you think that the way that we're doing everything right now is bad or something. I actually really like the idea that he's going to be going in and actually like taking, leading from the front here. It seems like he already with the video, he is being in the forefront of everything. He's actually able to say, "Hey, like I'm this person." He was famous for the blame game that he did here on YouTube and everything. That's something that I honestly think was very derisive when he was actually when he was playing it there, because he was able to he was playing the blame game, but he was basically taking a look at people and saying, well, yeah, of course, this happened. In Reddit saying that it was all this one person's fault, all this different stuff, but actually it's not. It's actually the fact that this happened or that happened or whatever. And I'm liking the fact that he's actually kind of taking that approach as well, and just saying like, well, yeah, like it could be someone's fault, and it's my fault. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about why this happened, or when this happened here, like what did that really mean, going forward. I think that's a really cool thing to kind of see, um, that he's able to kind of take those steps forward. I think another thing here too, I've always talked about like the future of NA and talent and all this different stuff, and of course the NACL. They did talk about this in the LCS address, and the NACL, it looks like, is going to be continuing, much like it was in the past. However, they are going to be doing something that they call the Fearless Draft. And they're also going to be doing best of threes, which is crazy to me. Which I would love to see, the LCS do something like a best of three or something like that. But I don't know. I think it could be cool. Basically, you have the folks in the NACL doing this thing called a Fearless Draft, which if you've never heard of it, which I understand, you might not have heard of it. The LDL over in the LPL, over in China there, they actually tried this out, and it actually kind of looked pretty cool. From what they were doing there, it was very interesting to see what a fearless draft is going to be when you are playing a champion, right? Your team is playing this champion. Well, that's the only time you or the enemy team can play that champion. And you gotta really be like actually decisive about it. Can we win on Azir here? Do you want to pick him just to so he can't not able to be played later or like that kind of stuff? It's basically you have three sets of games potentially that are completely different champions. They're going to be very different. They're going to have to be different. And it's going to show that there's actually other ways to play the game competitively. And I think it really will kind of innovate there. And one of the things that the NACL is going to be doing, even just on top of the BO3s and the Fearless draft, is they're actually going to go starting up after the LCS, which is really cool. You get those residual fans from the LCS who stay for the NACL. They just want to keep watching League. Great, I love that. That's a cool thing to see. I don't know how much NACL is going to be on after the actual like LCS broadcast and everything. If it's going to be like 3, 4, or 5 games, that's a lot of league to watch in a day. I've done it, trust me. But I think it'd be cool to see really the steps that they go and how much more eyes you get on the NACL just because of this, because you're getting the new seasons of LCS and NACL. Things are gonna go well. I hope. Fingers crossed for sure, right? Um, but I think it could be cool. I think it really could be a very interesting season going forward. I think that is going to be something that not it's not everything that I wanted to see, but it honestly made me feel like this is what I'm looking for when it comes to um, the next bit of LCS content and the future of the LCS, that kind of stuff. I like it. I think it will look. I think it'll be a pretty interesting season here. So yeah, I think that's basically all I got to say about that, guys. Um, I will see you all in the next video, where we probably actually are going to be reacting to the cinematic here. I think that'll be a really cool thing to do, and I'm excited. It looks super cool. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.